Happy Monday. Today is Monday, November the 22nd, 2021. Just a couple of more days till Turkey Day. Get some Thanksgiving dinner in. Today's daily Bible readings come to us from Psalm 63, 2 Kings 23, 15 through 25, Revelation 11, 1 through 14, or you could have read Psalm 76, Daniel 7, 19 through 27, and then Revelation 11, 1 through 14. Again, I'm going to take a look at 2 Kings and talk about all those high places. We introduced this story last week. I introduced it with the finding of the book of the law. Right, these guys come up to Josiah and they're like, "We found this book while we were cleaning out the temple." Huggins followed up with it on Friday and told you about what effect that had on everybody, specifically on King Josiah, who's thought of very well in this passage. And then this passage kind of fleshes that out, but that's not really the thing I'm talking about or I'm going to get to. But anyway, Josiah, he did his best to undo the things done by his predecessor, because when he had the book of the law read to him, he realized just how far off the mark they were. And he's set about work trying to do something about it. So we're told that he even tore down the high places. So he, repaired the temple, got all the, filth and detritus and false gods out of the temple. And then he goes about traveling around tearing down the high places. So what are the high places? Well, they were alternative worship sites that were built to false gods on the high places, mountaintops, hilltops, things like that. Because, you want to get up close to God, and they're not worshiping God, they're worshiping gods and, like the sky god, things like that. So you want to be on the mountaintop. And so he goes about tearing these places down. They were places of idolatry, I should say, where worship was offered on unholy altars to false gods. It's basically what they were. And Josiah even travels to Bethel, which is in like the Sumerian land. This is like the territory that, used to belong to the kingdom of Israel, the northern kingdom, and goes to one of the oldest shrines that existed after kind of the breakup of the kingdom, after you had the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. He travels there and it goes to this shrine established by King Jeroboam, son of Nebat. Yeah, that son of Nebat, the one who, caused Israel to sin. That's the way he's always introduced. A matter of fact, that's how you see him introduced today. Jeroboam, son of Nebat, who caused Israel to sin, primarily because of all his idolatrous behavior. So Josiah pulls up to it and has it all pulled down and then burns it to ash and dust. And then he looks around and he sees the tombs of the people buried around these false altars to these false gods who wanted to be close to their gods. And he begins to open those tombs up and haul them out, their bones out, and then burn them on top of this site, kind of desecrating it. If you ever, that's basically in the biblical parlance how you desecrate somebody's altar. And so he's takes them and then burns them to dust on it. And he's looking around, he sees one more tomb, and he goes, "Hey, who's buried in that tomb?" Which sounds like a Jeopardy question, but or answer. Anyway, so he sees this tomb and he's like, "Hey, who's buried over there?" And this one tomb is the only one that he leaves. And why is it? Well, the people all standing around watching this all happen are all thinking, "Whoa, this is exactly what that prophet buried over in that tomb said it would be like." And they explain that to him. They say, well, that's the prophet who came out of Judah and came up all the way up here and prophesied to Jeroboam against what Jeroboam was doing and against this altar. And he said, he foretold everything that you're doing today. He said that it would be like this. And so Josiah steps back and he goes, "Oh, let him rest. Just leave him in his tomb." And then it says this kind of interesting thing. It says that he, it finishes up and it says that he was left to rest in the tomb with the other prophet who came out of Samaria. And that's an interesting thing because this passage is referring back to a story that happens earlier in 2 Kings, all the way back in chapter 13. And that's why this prophet out of Judah is buried in Samaria with another prophet, local prophet, buried with him. I could tell you that story, but you should go read it for yourself. Chapter 13 of 2 Kings. Anyway, that's the DBR for today. Get out, enjoy the day. We'll be back tomorrow. Boop.